Hi, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the I'm In podcast. I'm your host, Heather Hodges, and I'm delighted to start this journey with you. As an organizational psychologist, I've spent years exploring what makes individuals and teams thrive, what sparks creativity, fosters growth and development, and creates a sense of belonging and motivates people to do the very best work of their lives. So this podcast is my way of saying, I'm in. I'm into sharing those stories and insights and research and strategies with all of you. Now, I believe that your professional development is yours to own. But the good news is that you're not in it on your own. I'm honored to be on this journey with you as we do the hard work to grow and become transformed, to unleash creativity and reach our highest potential together. So what's this podcast all about? Well, we have three pillars: insights, inspiration, and innovation. So insights will be the practical knowledge that's grounded in psychology and research. And inspiration, these are the stories and the lessons from leaders and innovators and change makers. And innovation are the tools and the tips and the strategies and the stories to spark your creativity. Now, in my career, I've had the honor of working with teams and leaders across industries and around the world to help them navigate challenges and unlock their peak performance. So this podcast, it's about more than just work. It's about unlocking human potential. It's about what Abraham Maslow called the farther reaches of human nature. So we'll dive deep into topics like the psychology of creativity, understanding yourself and others through the lens of the Enneagram, how to grow your leadership, and what it takes to build the highest performing teams possible. So every week, I'll bring you conversations with thought leaders, creatives, and innovators, and everyday change makers. Now, some episodes will be interviews, while others will be solo deep dives about topics that I'm passionate about. And of course, I will always leave you with actionable strategies to make a difference in your work and life. So whether you're a leader, a creative, or someone who is just ready to achieve your highest potential in your field, this podcast is for you. Let's get started. Hi, everyone. This is Heather Hodges. I'm an organizational psychologist. Welcome to my show. This is the place where we say I'm in to creativity, bold thinking, transformational growth, and meaningful conversations. Today, we are exploring why being a creative leader is no longer optional. It's essential. Our world is constantly changing, and we need leaders who can inspire innovation, solve complex problems, and build resilient teams. So what does it mean to lead with creativity? And why is it the key to thriving in today's unpredictable landscape? Let's get started. Many years ago, a group of tourists was walking through an old town in Europe, and it was one of those beautiful old towns that just seems older than time itself. And as they were walking along, they came to the town square, and they saw an old man sitting by the fountain. And one of the tourists asked him, "Sir, were any great leaders born here?" And the old man said, "Nope, only babies." Leaders aren't born, they are cultivated. And becoming a great leader, it's hard work, and it is not an easy path. It's also not an automatic path. It takes intentionality and openness and a heck of a lot of courage. So I'm on a mission to crack the creativity code of leadership. And my goal is to inspire and develop creative leaders who can also lead to unleash creativity on their teams. And one of the things that is important for us all to remember is that you do not need a title or an official supervisory position to be a leader. At its core, leadership, it's about influence and the ability to inspire and impact others through your actions, your ideas, and especially through your presence. So what exactly is a creative leader? Well, creative leaders are people who think inside and outside the box. So they come up with imaginative solutions that can redefine an organization and ignite meaningful change. And creative leaders are people who can develop flexible solutions, and they inspire their teams to do the same. So these kinds of leaders, they also nurture creativity in others by offering psychological safety and cultivating a culture that fosters creative thinking. And I can hear what you're thinking, but Heather, I'm not creative. Well, I respectfully disagree. Stop arguing for your limitations. Creativity is the production of novel, useful, and appropriate ideas that can lead to innovation, which is the implementation of those ideas. Everyone is creative in some way because everyone can generate new and useful and appropriate ideas. So you may not be a master oil painter, but you are creative. And I think too often we associate creativity only with the arts, and we associate innovation with science, but that is not a complete picture. Creativity is for everyone, and we need everyone's creativity, especially in leadership, because we are facing some complex challenges in every industry right now, and we cannot solve those challenges without our collective creativity. And creative leadership, it's not only for Hollywood or on the marketing team or the research and design departments. We need creative leaders in every industry and in every department. Because when you unleash your creativity as a leader, you will see opportunities where other people see obstacles. So instead of taking no for an answer, you'll start to ask, what if we had to? How would we do it? And when you integrate creativity into your leadership style, you will have a curious mind and a tenacious spirit. You will just know down to your toes that mountains can be moved because a team of unstoppable creative people have set their mind to moving it. So how do you become a creative leader? I'm going to offer you 7 steps to awaken the creative leader that is already inside of you. And I'll list these in the episode notes as well. So these are some of the behaviors, the intuitions, and the mindsets that distinguish creative leaders from other traditional leaders. And when we cultivate and grow these qualities, we can lead our teams with creativity and courage and drive innovation to find real solutions to some of the challenges we are facing today. Number 1, embrace complexity and ambiguity. You need to get comfortable with uncertainty and complexity. Creative leaders are flexible thinking. They adapt to the changing environment. So stop being afraid of change. It's not going anywhere. There are times when you will have to make decisions, even when you have incomplete information, which means you need to be a good problem solver and look for innovative approaches to make decisions. So when you embrace complexity, you open the door to fresh ideas and new solutions, which makes it easier to inspire your team to think creatively and come up with innovative ways to tackle challenges. Number 2, foster a culture of innovation. So start by inviting diverse perspectives from your team, because when we have a variety of viewpoints, you will have access to more innovative solutions. You should also promote a culture on your team where you encourage experimentation and take calculated, intelligent risks. Remember, failure is just part of the creative process. So use it as a learning opportunity and then assimilate what you learned and try again. You will never solve complex problems if you're not willing to fail. So fail fast, fail intelligently, and hurry up and learn the lessons you need to learn so you and your team can envision innovative and elegant solutions to complex challenges. Number 3, inspire and motivate. Don't dictate. So to be a creative leader, you need to be able to articulate a compelling vision that inspires and motivates your team. Why would they follow you if you cannot communicate your vision in a way that engages your team and gets them on board with where you want to go? So here's a brutal truth that too many old school leaders have not realized yet. Telling people what to do doesn't work. Today, we want leaders who coach and inspire and motivate. So instead of telling your team what to do, inspire them in the right direction, share the goal, point them towards the horizon, show them the mountain to climb, and then empower them with the autonomy to make decisions for how to climb the mountain. Don't dictate how to do it. Lead to unleash the creative problem solving and critical thinking skills of your team. And when you lead like that, you will increase ownership and accountability on your team, and you will inspire your team to do the best work of their lives. And together, you'll accomplish more than you can possibly imagine. Number 4, collaborate and connect. Creative leaders build strong networks, both inside and outside their organizations. So this starts by breaking down silos and being open and transparent in your communication. So I encourage you to practice radical collaboration. I think some of the most frustrating people I have worked with in my career are people who were uncollaborative, and they intentionally gated off communication. And I've even seen information held back just out of spite or insecurity or an insatiable desire and need for control, which is usually rooted in arrogance, maybe a fear of failure, or just a lack of trust. And if we are going to tackle big problems, we have got to foster a collaborative environment and prioritize teamwork and transparent communication. Number 5, be a lifelong learner and have a growth mindset. Be committed to your own continuous learning and development. Our growth and transformation is never done. I invite you to stay curious and open to new ideas and practices, and to also invest in your team's development and provide opportunities for their transformational growth too. And it's always beautifully clear to me who has a growth mindset, because you can just tell they are on a journey of transformation. They are open, they are receptive, and they're always looking for ways to grow. And it's also abundantly clear to me who has a fixed mindset, because they're simply not interested in learning and development. At one of my old companies, one of the ways I served the organization was as the internal speaker coach. And it was my job to train and coach the speakers who would take the stage at the big national conference each year. And one year we had a new hire who was also a new department head. And I remember going to his office to schedule his speaker practice and help him polish up his 15-minute talk for the big conference. Well, he declined the coaching and practice, and he said to me, "Would it surprise you if I told you I never practice before I give a talk?" I had only known him a couple of weeks at that time, but I remember thinking to myself, nope, that does not surprise me one bit. Unfortunately, he never accepted the coaching, and he ended up chasing rabbits and going more than twice as long as he was supposed to on stage. So he lost the audience, and he put the whole morning behind schedule because he had refused the training he needed to refine his message and polish his delivery. On the other hand, creative leaders are lifelong learners, and they have a growth mindset. Number 6, Practice strategic agility. Creative leaders are strategic and forward thinking, and it's important to be able to anticipate future trends and challenges and prepare your team to navigate them effectively. You need to develop the ability to see around corners and make decisions quickly, but also use critical thinking and consider the long-term impact of your decisions. Over the last couple of years, this is something that nobody knows about me. Over the last couple of years, I've been working on my chess game. So every night before bed, I solve chess puzzles on my phone. And when I first started, I could never solve the puzzles. I had to cheat and get hints from the app. But the longer I've been practicing, the easier it is to see the whole board and even see patterns and several moves ahead. We need to do this with our leadership too. When you practice strategic ability and strategic agility in your leadership with dedication and practice, you'll be able to recognize patterns and anticipate outcomes and adapt your approach to stay ahead and win. Number 7. Build emotional intelligence. Creative leaders have high emotional intelligence, which begins with self-awareness and the ability to manage their own emotions. The hardest person you will ever lead is yourself. And this is a journey for all of us. Our problem is that we rationalize our own thoughts and behaviors, and we armor up and we use our defense mechanisms to justify why we're right and they are wrong. But true emotional intelligence is recognizing those patterns and tendencies and then challenging them so we can grow and become mature and transformed. And as leaders, we also need to be able to show empathy and understand the emotions and motivations of others, which will help you build strong, trusting relationships. After all, trust is the foundation of everything we do and the key to unlocking collaboration and creativity within our teams. So to recap, here are the 7 steps to become a creative leader. Number 1, embrace complexity and ambiguity. 2, foster a culture of innovation. 3, inspire and motivate, don't dictate. 4, collaborate and connect. And 5, be a lifelong learner and have a growth mindset. 6, practice strategic agility. And 7, build emotional intelligence. One of the reasons I started this podcast is with the hopes that it will spark your creativity and inspire you to live and lead with your whole self, your head, heart, and hands. I believe that when we balance our thinking, feeling, and doing, we can lead from a place of integration, maturity, and creativity. And that's when you can do your best work and build the best relationships of your career and inspire others to achieve more than they ever thought possible. This podcast, it's more than a traditional leadership podcast. It's a guide to unleashing your creative potential and applying it to your life and leadership. And in future episodes, we will delve into different aspects of leading yourself and leading others. And I'll give you practical insights and real-world examples and solid action steps for transformational growth. This podcast, it's the accumulation of many years of training and coaching and research and teaching leadership skills. And I hope that you will engage and wrestle with the principles and strategies we will talk about here. There will be some things you push back against, and that is awesome. We cannot grow unless we get uncomfortable and challenge each other. I believe iron sharpens iron, and we will be better equipped to live and lead with creativity and innovation and excellence because we have been on this journey together. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode of I'm In. Thank you for joining me on this journey into creative leadership. And if you found this episode helpful, please share it with a friend, subscribe, or leave a review. It helps us grow this community. So until next time, keep saying I'm in to creativity, bold thinking, transformational growth, and meaningful conversations. May you be wildly creative in your life and leadership. I'll see you soon.